x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
This is a Khan Academy assignment that you have this week. This is solving quadratics by factoring, and this is the intro. So solve for x, write the smaller solutions first. That's important, write the smaller solution first. If we don't write them in the right order, then we're gonna get these wrong. So this says x squared plus 3x minus 28 equals 0. So I'm gonna use this space to work. So I have x squared plus 3x minus 28 equals 0. And the first thing I do is what I always do, identify a, b, and c. A is the number that happens to be in front of x squared. This number is understood to be 1, so a is 1, b is 3, c equals negative 28. And I multiply 1 times negative 28 to get negative 28, and I write down all the factors that multiply to negative 28. So I know 1 and negative 28, negative 1 and 28. 2 and negative 14, negative 2 and 14. 3 doesn't go in, 4 and negative 7, negative 4 and 7. 5 doesn't go into 28, 6 doesn't go into 28, 7 does, but we already have it, so this is our entire list of factors that go into negative 28. I need the ones that add to a positive 3. So you can use a calculator to do this. So 1 plus negative 28 is negative 27, that's not it. Negative 1 plus 28 is 27, that's not it. 2 plus negative 14 is negative 12. Negative 2 plus 14 is positive 12. 4 plus negative 7 is negative 3. Negative 4 plus 7 equals positive 3. Therefore, these are the numbers I'm going to use. I'm going to factor by the box method. So, in the box method, I start by putting the first term, x squared, in the upper left-hand corner. The last term, minus 28, in the bottom right-hand corner. And then I'm going to use this number, negative 4x, and then this is going to be a positive 7x. And those are going to go in the other two. So this is minus 4x and plus 7x. And it doesn't matter, if you had put the negative 4 down here and the 7 up here, that's fine as well. And now I'm going to find the greatest common factor, the largest number that goes in, largest number letter combination that goes into x squared and negative 4x. So they both have an x in common, so I'm going to take out an x. This symbol right here, plus, is always going to go out here to the left. This symbol right here, negative, is always going to come up here on top. On the left-hand side, 7x and x squared both have an x in common. On the right-hand side, the largest number that goes into 4x and 28 is 4. And the largest number that goes into 7x and 28 is 7. And so that gives me x minus 4, x plus 7 equals 0. So we've factored the left-hand side, and now we have it written as in factored form, two different factors. Now we use the zero product property and set each factor equal to 0, so I get x minus 4 equals 0, and x plus 7 equals 0. Here I'm adding 4 to each side of the equation, and I get x equals 4. That's one solution. Here I'm subtracting 7 from each side, so I get x equals negative 7. Now it says the smaller solution first. If I had a number line, and 0 was here on the number line, 4 would be to the right of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 4. And negative 7 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Negative 7 would be over here. On a number line, the smaller solution is the one that's furthest to the left. So negative 7 would be my smaller solution. So I'm going to put a negative 7 here. My larger solution would be 4, so I'm going to put a 4 in this box. All right, so we're done with that example. We got it correct. We're going to do one more example. I might do a couple more examples. All right, this time I have x squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0. And again, I'm going to try to factor. So by factoring, I'm going to put number 1 out in front of here to say that that leading coefficient is 1. So A equals 1, B equals 3, C equals -4. And we're going to multiply 1 times -4. That gives us -4. And now I need the factors of -4. The things that multiply to -4 are 1 and -4, -1 and 4, and 2 and -2. I need the factors of -4 that add to 3. So the ones that add to 3 are going to be -1 and 4. And so I'm going to use the box method again. My leading term, x squared, goes here. My last term, -4, goes here. And I'm replacing the 3x with -1x and positive 4x. -1x and plus 4x. And now I'm going to factor. Again, this symbol comes out front, this symbol comes out top. And then I need to see what the top has in common. So this has an x and that has an x squared. And this greatest common factor that comes out here is an x. Here I have a 4 and a 4x, and the largest number that goes into both of them is 4. And on the left-hand side, I have a 4x and an x squared. They both have an x in common. And on the right, there's no number that goes into 1 and 4 other than 1. Now, 1 is always a common factor, but in this case, it's the greatest common factor as 1. And so now, I have my factors. X plus 4, x minus 1. And so we factored the left-hand side. We set it equal to 0. And then I set each factor equal to 0, x plus 4 equals 0, and x minus 1 equals 0, and solve. Use inverse operations, so the opposite of plus 4 is minus 4, so I'm subtracting 4 from each side. X equals -4. And over here, I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and I get x equals 1. And again, it's asking me to write the smaller solution first. So the smaller solution on a number line. So here's my number line. Here's 0. 1 would be here, and 1, 2, 3, 4. -4 would be here. So -4 is going to be my smaller solution, and 1 will be my larger solution. It's a quadratic, and it's x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals 0. And what we need to do is just what we've been doing, factor. Leading coefficient is 1. 1 times 36 is, so A equals 1, B equals 12, C equals 36. So do 1 times 36, which is 36, and then list the factors of 36. 1 and 36, -1, -36. 2 and 18, -2, -18. 3 and 12, -3, -12. 4 and 9, -4, -9. 5 doesn't go in, but 6 does. 6 and 6, or -6 and -6. And I need the terms that add to that middle number. They add to 12. And so 6 and 6 add to 12. So I'm going to factor. X squared and 36 go in the corner boxes. X squared plus 36. And then I fill in the remaining boxes with a positive 6x and a positive 6x. So plus 6x plus 6x. Remember, this symbol is always going to come out front, and this symbol is always going to come out top. The thing that goes into x squared and 6x is x. The largest number, the greatest number that goes into 6x and 36 is 6. X squared and 6x is x, and 6x and 36 is 6. And so I get x plus 6 times x plus 6 equals 0. And I'm going to set each factor equal to 0. X plus 6 equals 0. And x plus 6 equals 0. And as I'm solving, Using inverse operations, subtract 6 from each side and subtract 6 from each side here. And we see we get two answers, but it's really the same answer. So this is called a double root. And when we get an answer like that, we just put that answer in